Hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome to all of you. My name is Alpana Sagwal, and I work as account development for India and other neighboring countries. I have today with me my colleague Neeraj Karandikar. Neeraj is the account development and events manager based out in Pune, and I'm based out in New Delhi. So today's session will be supported by Neeraj. He will be managing the chat and etc. at the back end. Will also help with the questions while I'll deliver the training. Thank you so much for all of you for sparing this time. I hope it is useful for you. And as you already know, we intend to take you through the platform today. We'll also show a brief on the ONOS, the One Nation, One subscription, and also the Springer Nature platform training that we intend to see. The one thing which I want to tell you all is that we have actually started this series. We have given a name to this series now after due diligence and a lot of communication with our corporate communication team, and we call it now ONOS Researcher Connect. And if you can see on LinkedIn, if you go ONOS Researcher Connect, you might see a page as well. And we're also we have a YouTube India channel. On that channel, what we are trying to do is we are trying to make it as repository of all these webinars which we are hosting. So right now, as we speak, we will be sharing the YouTube links, etc., with you all today, and also we'll share the deck with you. So we'll share the links of the YouTube channel as well, where all the recordings are kept in perpetuity. They will be there forever. So you can always anytime go to that channel and see these recordings where from the one that we started in March, the series that we started in March. All right. So if you remember, if some of you are already repeat audience in our webinar, so you would know that after the agreement got signed, the ONOS agreement got signed with Springer Nature, it happened in Feb end. So we started the trainings and webinars in March. So the March and April one were platform trainings, and the April platform training was a little advanced. Then we came up with a session basis the feedbacks that we received from you all. We came up with a session about research writing and publishing, where we delved into the nuances, and we had Natalie Jacobs with us, if many of you remember. And then the following webinar was about research metrics, understanding all of it, what is H-index, etc. That happened in the month of June. Now this month, since it is the beginning of many universities, beginning of a new academic session, so we thought that we will redo our platform training, the advanced one. It would be a refresher for many of you. And also we see on the ONOS site, there are many new institutes getting registered. So if you are for the first time coming here, so this is a training where you'll get to know how to access Springer Nature resources, which you are getting access from the ONOS deal. Then, I have an exciting news as well. Next month, based on the feedback received, what we have tried to do is we have tried to pull up a session for you all based, actually, the session is focused completely on artificial intelligence and research, writing and publishing. So that session we will be doing on the 25th of August. Look out for a mail from ourselves, or also follow us on the LinkedIn pages where we will actually keep posting about these webinars. With that note, let me start. Okay, so everybody's mute by default. I request you that you have any questions, please type in them in the Q&A box that is given to you. Neeraj is looking at them, and if there are any questions that need more attention, we will take them at the end when we have some dedicated time. We are recording this session. As I always say, that doesn't mean that you leave us right now. Be with us, but also you'll get a link to watch recording. And now you'll also have this session on YouTube channel as well. And after the webinar ends, you will be directed to a feedback form. Please do let us know how you felt about this training session. All right, as the ritual says, okay, so already the questions are coming up. All right, as the rituals say, I would like to start with a poll. All right, so this is a question for all of you, and this is more like a quiz this time. Let me just launch it first. So which of the following statements about accessing ONOS resources is not true? Now, this is not a basic poll that I brought this time. This is like a poll on where how much you know now, because it's already been like, what, 6 months, or I should say 4 or 5 months already on the ONOS deal. So there are 3 options. 2 of these are true and 1 is not correct. So you need to figure out which is the incorrect statement. So individual researchers can access ONOS journals only through the institution's IP network or the INFED login. ONOS allows Indian citizens to register and access journals directory from the ONOS portal. ONOS access is restricted to government-funded institutions. Private colleges are not eligible in this ways. So let me know, and you have to find out which is the statement which is not correct, not true. So let's just give you all 2, 3 more seconds. Okay, thank you so much for honoring my request and answering this poll. I'm ending it now, and then I'm sharing the results. All right, so 32% of you were right. However, 48% said that it's only restricted private colleges. That is a correct statement. So the question was that you have to find the incorrect statement. So the incorrect statement is ONOS allows any Indian citizen to register and access. No, actually, citizen, we cannot just directly go to the ONOS portal and start accessing content. That is not true, and that is a question that keeps coming to us as well. So what is needed is that your librarian, your admin actually goes to the ONOS portal and first of all register the institution. So you have to be affiliated to a eligible institution to get access to ONOS resources. Individual user like me, you all, we cannot just go to the portal and start accessing content. First, your institution has to register, and once your institution registers, then you will have to register yourself as part of that affiliation, under that affiliation. Then only you'll be able to access the ONOS resources. Okay, moving ahead. One Nation, One subscription, you know what it is already. A lot has been talked about, but I'm sure there are some newcomers on this call today, on this webinar today. So One Nation, One subscription is a drive initiative by our government of India, where 30 publishers have come on board together to grant access to 13,000 full text journals to approximately 6,500 plus, if I have to be correct. I think it is 7,000 institutions in India are getting access to the journal's content from reputed 30 publishers. So all of it, the information is on the website. I will show ONOS portal in a while. So the agenda is that, of course, ONOS, Springer Nature journals, platforms, live demo, some smart strategies, the keywords, etc. Something that you can see on the screen that I intend to cover today. Also, how you can find the right journals for your reading, also for your submission in the journals. So in between, when I show you the platform demonstration, I'll try to give you some tips and tricks, which I also have learned over the years working with the editors of Springer Nature journals. And then we intend to also have this Q&A section at the end. And again, I would like to thank my colleague Neeraj for handling the chat box, because it is difficult to handle it simultaneously while we are delivering the webinar. Thank you, Neeraj. Okay, so Springer Nature platforms, online training for ONOS members. So first of all, how to access. So I'll run through some slides and then also show what I mean on the site. However, I would like to reiterate this message that this is not a full burst training on ONOS, which this ONOS training should be done by the InflibNet centers, or maybe the Minister of Education should have these trainings. Why I'm saying this? Because I do not have the real access to show you the test demo, username, etc. But I'll still try to show you how it looks like and what needs to be done. This session is more towards Springer Nature platform and how to access the content available through ONOS. Okay. So as I was saying, in the first phase, 6,500 plus, and if I'll be correct, it is 7,021 or so, government higher educational institutions, R&D institution, government colleges, academic colleges, government medical colleges, all of it are part of ONOS deal in the first phase. And the first phase is from this year till 2027 December, which is a period of 3 years. In this first phase, 30 global publishers are added. They are part of it. Springer Nature is one of them. We have Elsevier, Wiley, TNF, and then you have the whole list on the ONOS site. Journal titles, there are 13,000 plus full text journals which are accessible to you all. It's a big thing for all of you. And we get such happy mails from researchers that now we really don't have any challenge in accessing good quality content for your research work or for your academic work. So it's a big leap that the Ministry of Education, Government of India has taken. As far as the access model are concerned, there are two types of accesses. One is IP-based access and one is off-campus access, which I intend to, also talk about a little bit in detail. So let's just have one more poll here. And this poll is not a quiz, actually. It's more for me to get some insights. Are you aware that your institution has access? I just want to know how many of you are aware or how many of you don't know. So, and there is no right or wrong answer. This is just an information. So please, through this, we'll get an idea as to how many of you are aware about ONOS, and then maybe we can also pass on this message to the ONOS. So I'll just take another. All right, so I'm ending this poll, and I'm very happy to see the results in a way because as from the questions, has been 70% participation, 59% participation in the poll, and if you see here, uh, 68% of you know, which is very good, and 32% do not know whether your institution is part of it or not, which is all right. But I request you, see, I'll tell you again, if you are a government institution, if you are academic government institution, part of higher education universities, CFTIs, central universities, state universities, colleges, R&D institutions, you should have access to. Your institution should have access to ONOS. But if your librarian or your admin or your nodal officer has not done the registration, it is high time you alert them that please get the registration done. It is not a rocket science process. It is very easy to get yourself registered. All the librarian needs is a AISHE code. That is it. So let me move forward and show you. There are three steps that I would like to show you here. The first is the institutional registration. As my first poll talked about, that whether an individual user can directly go to the OS portal and start accessing, no. Because the first step is always the institutional registration. So the institute, when I say institute, I mean the librarian of that institution has to register themselves, that affiliation, that university or college under the ONOS portal. That is the first step. And once that is done, then the user can go to the ONOS site using a user registration, and then the user has to one time register themselves on the ONOS portal. But the user can only do it if the institution is registered. Please understand this point. That is very, very important. So if you are not able to access, if you go directly and see, oh, my college is not listed here, then you have to go to your library and tell them that please register yourself under the ONOS. And the third step is just directly the journal access. So how does it work? You go to onos.gov.in and then you click on Institute Registration. I'll show you that also. There is an AISHE code. Every institution has an AISHE code. If you do not have it, I think there are some R&D institutions who do not have it. So you have to apply for AISHE code because it is a mandatory requirement to register under ONOS portal. So please get the AISHE code. It is All India Survey of Higher Education code. That is something that you need to get. You need to apply for, and you will get it. And once you have it, you just need to enter your details, and which the librarian has to fill, of course. And then the librarian gets the login as the admin of the institute. Now, once your institution is registered, it will reflect on the ONOS portal, on the ONOS website. And then comes the user registration. So as a user, which could be a student, a faculty, or a researcher, you have to go to the same site, but you will click on user registration. You will not click on institution registration. And you have to select your state, university, fill your detail, and you have to submit. Your request will go to the librarian. The librarian will approve it one time, and once that is done, you will just start to access the journals. Now, how to access? As I mentioned, there are two types of access. One is a static access, which is a pure IP based, which you all know, which you all have been doing. If you were part of, if your institution was part of any of the consortiums like ESS, Delcon, maybe DRDO, so you already were having access through IP. So nothing needs to be done here. It has been seamlessly, moved to ONOS. But if you did not, and if you're part of, if you have a static IP, so you will get an IP-based access, which is through campus-wide network. The researcher needs to be in the campus to access the resources. But there's also an element of remote access. Now, if your institution is already having a remote access, then there's no problem. You can access, you can give the details to ONOS or to the publisher to also, have this registered, the remote access that you're using, the way you do normally. But if you did not buy any or remote access yourself, this time InflibNet is also giving you a remote access free service through InFed. So you can also reach out to the InFed through InflibNet Center, and you will get the off-campus access. Now, the second part is the colleges and the institution who are without a static IP address. For them, the campus-wide network through IP does not exist. You only have one type of access, which is the off-campus access, the remote access. That you need to write, the librarian of the college needs to write to the InflibNet Center to get that IDP set up. And once you get that, the librarian has to actually upload all the user names into that system. And then each user will get automatic emails the way you set up a remote access, like that. And then each user will get their own respective emails where they can set up their password and start using it. So this is the way it is done for colleges, for non-campus access. As I mentioned, existing government consortia, users, etc., since they were already using it, so that has been automatically ported to the ONOS portal. And if you have any queries or issues, you can always go back to write to the support@onos.gov.in. And before I show you the site, there are some questions about Springer Nature resources which I would like to clarify here, or maybe also about ONOS. So the first phase of ONOS, which is till December 2027, it started in January 25, is applicable for government higher education institutions, central universities, state universities, R&D institutions, colleges, academic colleges, all are part of ONOS. If an institution do not have an AISHE code, the nodal officer or the librarian can apply for it by visiting the, as I mentioned, this is a mandatory step. So please do not, just keep it at the back foot. Please go and then apply for it on the website and get this done. Because I'll just show you some stats right now. There are many institutions who are still not registered on the site. Now, if I talk about Springer journals, I'm just clarifying it right now here that all Springer journals nature are covered, but access is from 1997. And Springer journals, Springer Nature articles which were published before 1997 are not covered. Sometimes, we get some emails and requests that why I'm not able to access. Everything is open in ONOS. Yes, it is, but you have to see the date published. If it is a 1980 published article, so you will not get it via ONOS. That comes under the archives. And books are not covered under ONOS. It's still through individual subscription through the publishers. If you have any further questions on ONOS, this is the website, of course, and then there is an FAQ on this site, which is where everything is given very detailed. There's also a contact us page. This email ID support@onos.gov.in, and my colleague Neeraj will be typing all of these contact addresses on the chat right now so that you all can access. For any queries related to Springer Nature, you can send an email to online service. So please send an email to online service@springernature.com. Why I'm saying so? Because if you send it to me, even I will send it to online service@springernature.com. So better to send to them. You can always keep us copied so that we can expedite it. And if you also wish to send it to us, that's also is fine. An important ID for the remote access setup, which I received an inquiry from many colleges, librarian is whom to send if they're not responding or if you're getting any problem. So that ID is this one, infed@inflibnet.ac.in. So you need to write to this ID for the remote access off-campus setup. I hope Neeraj has posted these sites and let me, okay, you're doing it, Neeraj, no problem. Okay, I'm now sharing my other screen where I talk. So this is the site onos.gov.in. And what I was mentioning about is here, how to register. So what you need to do as a librarian first, you need to click on Institute Registration here, and then it will ask you the required field and you have to register, of course. Then once that is done, and then then the user can go from the user registration, and this is a one-time step only. So the user clicks the state and institute name and then register, submits. Once they submit, they will be asked many other details like their name, etc., etc. So you need to fill all those details, and then a request will go to the librarian who will approve you as a user, because each librarian have their own dashboards also on ONOS. So they will see, okay, from my institution, these are the active users, these many have registered on these portal. All of that information is visible to the librarian. Now, once this is done, both the steps, you can, next time when you go there, so an admin of the, to see the stats and everything, the librarian will have to go through this ID, the institute admin login. But the user, so this is the ID, right? You just need to fill in your details, your email address and the password that you must have kept, and then sign in. But the user will have to use this user login ID. So it will ask for your name of the institution and then click on login to access resources. Now, this is the registration is one-time step. Login is every time that you need to go to the ONOS portal to access resources, you need to log in with your email address and your password, set password. Now, something which I want to show you here is the publishers. So this is here if you want to know which publishers are covered, all of that information is on the publisher tab. And if I show you here Springer Nature journals are lying here. And then you also can download the this particular, so this list can be downloaded as well. If you download the list, you will get the entire list. You can do it yourself now since you all are online. So you can download the list, you know which is the link to follow, from where you're getting the back files, from which date. And then the list of journals will also have the subject category. So it will be easy for you to, if you want to do a focused search. So this is the publishers. And then I'll show you the member institution. So if you see here, this is how the member institution list comes to us, and it's listed from A to B. And for every institution you see, the contact name is listed here. The library name will be listed here. Also, if you see here, for 4590, I think, are the total registered institutions. So even now, it is not registered at its full capacity. Okay. So if you see here, I can just go here and show you the summary dashboard. So the total institutions should be covered under this ONOS is 7201. And right now, these many are registered. So you see 4587 are registered, and there are still 2600 institutions which are left yet to be registered. So if any librarian or researcher from these 2600 institutions are in this call, so this is my request to you that please get yourself registered on the ONOS portal as soon as possible. Now, if you see access type, the campus access is the 1100. When I say 1100, these are those institutions who have a static IP, like all the CFTIs, central universities, state universities, NITs, IITs. So in total, there are 1106. But there are many colleges who have a login-based access, which I explained a while ago, the remote access. So that's why it shows here that these are the login-based access, and the access type campus access is this. So another important element which I want to show you here is, let me just go back, is the user guides. So all the publishers have put up their user guides here. In fact, you should also find the user guide for the platform, for librarian portal, for librarians to access librarian portal. All of the user guides are lying in here. And also, if you go here, this is the FAQ section. That's all the question that you have, what is InFed, how to manage, how to start the access through InFed, the remote access. So all of these questions are solved in here. Anyways, if you don't get answers from these FAQs, you always have these IDs, and then you always have us to come back to. So this is about the, and yes, you can directly search and browse here. So if you want to search and start browsing articles, I won't be able to do because I'm not registered on ONOS. But yes, you can do that. You click on engineering and you want to click on any article, it will route you to the login page. See, you'll be redirected to the login, and you log in first, and then you start accessing. All right, so let me come back to my presentation. Okay, so this was about the ONOS brief overview. Any questions you have the email ID. Now, this is something which this is the slide which shows something I showed to all of you in the beginning, that we have now a repository of all the webinars that we are doing. We started in March, we did one in March, then one in April, May, June, and this is the 5th one. So this will also get reflected here after 1 or 2 days. And so this YouTube channel, a YouTube playlist, have all these webinars that we are doing. So please follow us on this page. Neeraj, I request you to share this playlist, this YouTube page to all the people on the call today. And then let's move on to Springer Nature. So this training is called Springer Nature Platform Training, and I'm part of Springer Nature. I get paid to also talk about who we are, and jokes about. I'm really proud of the organization we support, really. So a little bit on Springer Nature. I know many of you are already aware. You are seasoned researchers, but I was seeing the registrations. Many of you are newcomers, and they are entry-level researchers who would like to know more about Springer Nature. And the good part is that this leap of that the ministry has taken, this bold initiative that India has taken, actually it's being looked after by many countries across globe, since we are a global company, and I also handle other countries, just not India. So when we speak about India, we speak very proudly what our government has done. This is a very big step where the access to these high quality resources is available to each one of you, and you can access them hassle-free. You don't need to really talk about from whom I can get it, nothing as such. Everything is open to you in the repository. Now the point is that the onus lies on us, the onus lies on you all to make the most use of these resources. They are very high quality resources. In fact, I'll be telling you the kind of resources like the nature journals are also full-fledgedly accessible to you. So you must have heard somewhere that from your project guides, that if you aspire to publish in a journal, you need to read that journal. You need to read what kind of papers are getting published in that journal. And now you have access to nature. So that's what we should aspire for. Maybe, you start reading nature journals. What kind of a research is fine. Of course, they publish novel research, but the way it's written, that's very important too. So maybe this could also help you. All right, Springer Nature. So Springer Nature, we have a legacy of publishing since 1842, 185 years plus. But if I talk about as an organization, we are 10 years old. We are a very young organization focused on technology, focused on publishing also, and using technology for publishing. And we are dealing with a lot of new projects within Springer Nature. So the merger of Springer and the Nature Group happened actually took place in the year 2015 of May. So this year particularly we are celebrating our 10th anniversary. But then the legacy we carry in publishing is 185 years. Nature itself is 155 years old. So the first the Nature article in the journal Nature was published in 1869. So it's been like what 155 years plus. And all these imprints that you see on the screen right now, because of the merger, we are able to actually offer all these imprints to you under one umbrella, which is the Springer Nature. As I said, we are celebrating 10-year anniversary, and this whole year, not preparing to celebrate. Actually, we are celebrating. And if you see these numbers, I'll not go through these numbers here, but then something which I would like to highlight here is that, as I said, we are a young company, and 30% of our staff is employed in the tech-based role. So we really invest a lot in technology. It's a phase of AI going on, and it's not a phase actually; it's something which is here to stay. So there is already a number of projects which are running in Springer Nature on artificial intelligence, how the best way we can use it, how we can even help our authors to use it in a very ethical manner. So and we are in 4 divisions: research, health, education, and professional. Now the journals and the books, etc., they are part of our research division. Under the research portfolio, we have journals, books, databases, and research solution. Now, I know you don't want to get bored about all these product portfolio. Of course, it's very boring actually, because who would like to know about databases solution in a short training call like this? But I would just like to say that if you want to know any information, if you want to know more information about these different kind of the content types we have, there is our website springernature.com. That is not our content database. That's our pure organization website, like you have for your colleges or institutions. Same as our springernature.com. There you will find information about all the kind of products that we have. So I'll not really dive into more about what do we have or not. Of course, all publishers have their product portfolio, and Springer Nature is a giant publisher. We have a lot of offerings for you. But then if you want more information, you can always write us an email about it. Okay, journal portfolio. This is a little important. Why? Because through ONOS, you're getting access to the journals. Now, if I talk about Springer Nature journals portfolio, particularly not books, not databases, not the research services, only journals. So we have close to 3,000 journals in total, out of which approximately 686 journals are fully open access. Some 300 journals, close to 300 journals are behind paywall, subscription journals. And then rest of it are all hybrid journals. So what is a subscription journal? Many of you would be know, but very quickly, I'll also tell you this, because this is also something a researcher should be aware of. Sometimes we get mails from researchers asking, okay, I just want to publish open access. Then we ask them, okay, are you interested in a hybrid or a fully open access? So it's very important to understand the difference between the two. So see, the legacy model of a journal is the subscription journal, where we do not charge any fee to publish. There are no article processing charges, but whatever you publish in that subscription journal is behind the paywall. So as an author, as a writer, you do not have to spend any money when you publish in a subscription journal. But your reader who would want to read your research, they will have to pay the money. But in this case, okay, keeping ONOS apart, I'm just telling you the definitions of these journals. Of course, through ONOS, you have access to everything now, but only the government institutions, right? All right, so coming back to what is subscription journal? So something that an author writes in that journal, the author doesn't have to pay anything. It's free for the author, but it's not free for the reader. The reader has to pay a reading fee. Then comes the model of fully open access. So fully open access is a journal where the author has to pay after getting accepted in the journal, not before that. After getting accepted by a peer review process, the author has to pay article processing charges, which are dependent from journal to journal. And then to read that article, the reader doesn't have to pay any fee. The journal is open access, hence your article becomes available online and everybody can access it. Everybody. So it's not limited to an ONOS deal or private, public, nothing. The whole globe, all the research community, fraternity can access. So that is a fully open access model. Now, in between the two lies a midway, which is a hybrid journal. So hybrid journals gives you both the offerings. They have behind the paywall articles as well as an option to publish open access. So that is hybrid. So Springer has close to 2,000 hybrid journals, close to 680 fully open access journals, and 300 pure subscription journals. That's our bifurcation. And we have journals in all these imprints. You see academic journals on nature.com, ADS journal, BMC journals, Nature Portfolio journals, Palgrave, Scientific American, Springer journals, and Springer Nature journals. Out of this, BMC journals are pure open access, fully open access. In fact, Nature Portfolio also we have Nature Communication as fully open access journals. We also have a series in our Springer journals. Now it's a different series now, which is Discover series. That's also our fully open access journal series. Now, moving on, after talking about what is accessible and what are Springer Nature journals and which imprints do we have them, let's move on to the main part which you would like to know. Springer Nature journals accessible to ONOS members. So what is accessible to you? Everything, all the Springer Nature journals. So anyways, you have access to the fully open access 690 journals, right? You don't have to worry about them. You can access them always. But from ONOS, you also have access to all the Springer Nature journals. When I say Springer Nature, everything that we publish with backfiles access from 1997. Even Nature also, you have access from 1997 till the current year access. So that is what is available to you. If I show you a little bifurcation of the journals, so if you see Springer journals, 2,197. Nature research, these are the Nature portfolio journals, which are the original research. I think some close around 33 or 35, and then Nature review journals. They come under the Nature Research Journal 67. Then Palgrave and Macmillan journals are the management journals for a very, very high quality focus journals on for management and humanities. So that's our Palgrave journals. Then we have academic journals on nature.com, which are published by Nature, but they are published in collaboration with some societies, equally quality oriented, but they are published through with the help of societies as well. Then we have ADS journals. These are focused drug-based journals used widely by the pharma institutes. So this is the bifurcation of what is available to you as part of ONOS from Springer Nature. A lot of journals actually. You see, 13,000 are the total journal accessible, out of which 2,400 approximately are Springer Nature. Then what are the platform to access? Of course, you will be now a little disappointed that we have two different platforms, link.springer.com for Springer journals, Palgrave ADIS. For Nature journals, you have nature.com. But I have a positive news here that last year our teams have started revamping the platform. Many of you who would have gone to the old platform, who know the platform, they would have seen a change in our platform. Now it's become more user friendly, and there are many changes, very positive changes that have been done by our platform product and platform group at Springer Nature. So what has happened is the Springer Palgrave ADS legacy wise, they were available on link.springer.com, but the Nature journals are also now syndicated on this platform. So if you search on Springer Nature link, which I'll show you in a while, if you search on Springer Nature link, you will still get articles from Nature as well, from all the Nature journals. You can read them on link.springer.com. So it's not that there are two different platforms, so you are missing out on something. No. But if you click on the Nature article, and if you are interested to see the Nature journal homepage, and you click on that journal homepage, it will take you to a separate site, that is nature.com. So in principle, you don't have to really worry about remembering two different websites. You only remember link.springer.com, which Neeraj will type on the chat. Link.springer.com, that is our platform where you access the journals, all of it. Now, Springer journals, I've talked enough about them, but 2,900 plus total journals available in science, technology, medicine, humanities, and social sciences, available on Springer Nature Link. Again, this is all available on our website. These are the areas which are covered. From this call, I have people with me, and you can see your subject area. I don't think there would be any subject area which is left uncovered, because Springer is known for the breadth of the content that we cover. So we have a journal for you, whatever be your area. And we also have a journal for you, whatever the kind of audience you want to target to. So we have broad scope journals, we have narrow scope journals as well. You have niche journals, focusing only on, let's say, a community in maybe Asia, but there's something which you want, for a global perspective. So we have different kind of journals for you to read and also submit your manuscript in. The NADIS journal, I already talked about it. So there are 30 plus. I mentioned 21 something accessible through ONOS, but rest are open access. So some are hybrid. So hence there are 30 plus. Premium collection of drug focused journals. And these are the areas that it cover: pharmaceutical medicine, pharmacotherapy. So if I have people from pharma in the call, so these are the journals you should be reading and you should be going to, because they are really high quality journals. And we have received a very good feedback on the kind of research they publish. Then moving on to Palgrave Macmillan, these are the people from the humanities area who are on the call today. So these journals highly focused. So it doesn't mean that, we have only 55 journals for humanities. As I mentioned, if I go back very quickly, as I mentioned, so there are, see here, humanities and social sciences. There are a lot of journals from Springer imprint on humanities, social sciences, and law. But the Palgrave journals, the brand names, because Palgrave is a very established brand in management. So we have, after the merger, Palgrave came with us. Hence, this is something which we are also able to offer to you. And these are the areas which are covered under the Palgrave journals. Moving on to academic journals on nature.com, these are the ones which are, published in collaboration with societies. And then this is also decided by the society whether they would want the journal to be open access or not, since they are equal partners to us. So we also have to listen to them. So hence these are subscription journals. Then we come to the nature portfolio journals, which have two types of journals. The original nature journals, you must have heard, nature medicine, nature cancer, nature biotechnology, nature cell biology, nature sustainability. So every journal from nature starts from nature. And of course, then we have Nature also, which is our weekly interdisciplinary journal. It's our flagship journal, actually. So you see here, Nature, then we have Nature Research Journals, and then we have Nature Review Journal. So Nature Review Journals are really focused reviews journal. If you really want to read a review article, I would suggest you please go to Nature Review Journals, because you'll really know the meaning of what is a review article. It's actually where people actually, the word I use is dissect the original research published on a particular topic, and they talk about it. If you want to increase your knowledge about a particular topic, review journals are your place to go, and they're written by experts. We do not always invite, and we invite the early career researchers to write a review article. We always see, okay, what is the credibility of this person in this field, and hence they're invited for the research review articles. All right, so that was about the journals we covered. We'll move to the platform demo in a while. I have a couple of things that for you to, which I think you should be knowing for a smart researcher. Many of you already know it already. But since this time the call was open to the colleges as well. So I thought it's better to do a refresher again, which we did early in April. So maybe I'll again take you through some smart strategies of doing your smart research. And we'll also use them in when we do the platform training. Literature review, something which I think all researchers want to run away from, but something you all have to do, right? Because until you do the literature review, you're not able to have enough references on your manuscript. You have to submit manuscript, and then you have to give references. The publisher these days want to ask, what is the recent that you have read? How much have you read? That's a critical area. And also not only just to give references, but also to build your knowledge of that topic. I think literature review is one thing which is deeply important for what is existing knowledge, and then you find out the gaps. Sometimes if you're struggling to find the research topic, doing a literature review on your area of your subject area would also give you some ideas where you can pursue a research in. Identification of gaps, contextualization, then the critical analysis of that, and then it it is essential for a solid foundation for research and demonstrating your understanding of the topic. I'm very sure that your institution must be, your professors would be focusing on sound literature review. This is important. So the one tip here, as not somebody who's a researcher, but of course, I've been dealing with researchers for past so many years now. We talk to them in person, over the webinars, over calls. So in your life, you're very, very busy. We know that because you have to cover a lot of things, and that's a fact. And I'm not really just saying this to please you. It's really true, because you have lectures to attend and you have so many projects going on. You have to ask for funding also. You have to also see time of your the PI, the project guide, your project investigator. So then sometimes, and when I say sometimes, I really mean it most of the times, actually, the literature review goes on a back foot. And then we're not, and then at the last moment, we're just in a hurry then, okay, I want to read this, read this. So better is really to have a dedicated habit of reading, some literature every day. So have some focus 20 minutes in the morning or in the evening or while coming back in the DTC bus or any state transport buses you're coming back, or your vehicles, maybe metros which you are taking. So please develop a habit of reading. Reading is very important. Plus, now you have access of plethora of knowledge with you through this ONOS deal. So you have to just go and type on the publisher platform and to any topic. Please refrain from using co-pilots, refrain from using chat GPTs for your literature review. Please do your own literature review yourself. Develop a comprehensive knowledge of your topic. Maybe co-pilot can help you summarize for you. You can help you maybe rephrase for you, maybe help you to make this topic a little simpler for you. But then the first part has to be done by you. The co-pilot cannot do it for you, or the chat GPT or the Gemini or DeepSeek, they cannot do it for you. So you have to inculcate that reading. That's a request also, you can say, or maybe a tip, you can say, whatever you want to call it. All right, so let me give you some tips for effective literature review, which I have learned from the editors here. When they are reviewing your paper, this is something that they say that keywords are very, very important. Now, why are keywords important? Because for your article to get searched on the platform, right? So tomorrow, if you're an author, you would want that, okay, but if let's say your topic was wireless sensor network for environmental monitoring, something related to that. So you would like to, okay, if somebody puts up WSN, my article should come up, right? You would like that. But for that, you need to give the metadata in a way. You need to give the smart keywords. So please use smart keywords when you are submitting your manuscript. Having said that, smart keywords are also very, very useful when you are building your literature. Because see, the generic keywords would not sometimes give you a fair results on the platforms. So better to always use permutations and combinations of keywords. Now, how you can actually do the search? There are some examples that I brought for you. I actually worked it out on the platform yesterday, and maybe some of it I can show you on the platform also. Let's say your topic is wireless sensor networks for environmental monitoring. So you have to break your topic. You cannot just put a wireless sensor network for environmental monitoring. That won't give you much results. Break the topic into keywords. Keywords could be the wireless sensor networks, environmental monitoring. So it means there are two aspects to this particular phrase. Then think of synonyms of the first keywords and the second keywords. For example, wireless sensor network could be written as WSN, could be written as IoT sensors, remote sensors, sensor nodes, or maybe you are subject matter expert in this area, if it is your area. You know many other. Then similarly, environmental monitoring could also be written as air quality, pollution tracking, climate monitoring, ecological observation. So this way you will not leave. I mean, there could still be chances that some research are left still, but the majority of good quality research will certainly pop up in your search result. So think about using smart keywords, then generate your query. A second example, like for example, impact of artificial intelligence in education. So break it into artificial education impact. 3 words. Then artificial intelligence could be AI, machine learning, intelligent systems, ML. Also, education could be learning, teaching, pedagogy. Impact could also be influence, outcome, effects. So use the permutation combinations of these and then see the results that are coming in. Another example here I brought is, for example, the role of nanotechnology in cancer treatment. You can break into nanotechnology, cancer treatment role. And nanotechnology can have various synonyms and related terms. These are not synonyms, related terms I should say here. Nanomedicine, nanoparticles, nanoengineering, nanoscale materials. Cancer treatment could be oncology, cancer therapy, tumor treatment, chemotherapy alternatives. And role could be, I'm sorry, application, something on the screen. Okay, a function, etc. So this is also utilization. So this is also how you can generate these keywords. Another example I think I brought is, for example, your topic is 3D printing in aerospace engineering. So 3D printing could be 3D printing, additive manufacturing, rapid prototyping, digital fabrication. So you need to generate smart keywords like this. Aerospace engineering could be aircraft design, space technology, aeronautics, propulsion systems. So think of these and then make your permutation combination, then make a query and then copy paste the query on the publisher platforms. And that's how you will get your focused searches. Do not just try putting aerospace engineering, that's it, and just keep on looking on the articles. That will waste a lot of your time. The first part, when you make your queries for search, is very important. And then when you have the results, then all you need to do, of course, is the reading. But then you'll be focused. Okay, I have spent time on this search. I know this is a valid search. This is a focused search. This is what I need to read. So spend time by making your search queries. The next come is a user Boolean operator. So smart keywords is one, generating smart keywords. Equally important is use of Boolean operators. So there are in our platform, which is Springer Nature Link, it supports three Boolean operators, which is and, or, and not. So and is something which is by default. Even if you do not write anything and you write two words, so it is just taken and, which means it will give results only when both these words are present in the abstract and in the full text, in the title, etc. So you can also, if you have like one phrases and then another phrase, then you need to put inverted commas and then use and. So if you want to narrow your research, you use and. Like social inequality and urbanization. So has urbanization led to social inequality? So which means you want in your searches definitely to have both this perspective. You cannot just, this is not replacing one or the other. Hence it is refining, narrowing your search. So you use and. When to use or, when you have to broaden your search, you have to expand your concepts. For example, either political science or international relations, or maybe like social media or Instagram or X or Facebook. So you have to have all of the options available. It broadens your search. So then you use or. Not is used when you want to exclude something and you want to have it, not have it, but rather have the first term. So the term following the not, like nanotechnology, not cosmetics, will exclude cosmetics, the last term, and will only include nanotechnology. So you can even give these commands. So please make the system work for you, make the platform, publisher platform work for you to give you the accurate, good result fetches when you do that, and then read the results. Otherwise, that's a lot of time you'll be spending on reading non-focused research. Also, effective use of parentheses, also brackets, you can use inverted commas as well. They will help clarify the logic. Another thing is what I really also suggest is wildcard or the truncated search. Why? Because sometimes the words are not complete, and few string of the alphabets make some different words, and sometimes like it's, for example, educate. So educat, and then you do a star asterisk here. Then it might give you results for educate, education, educational, educator. Similarly, genet, GENET, would give you for genetic, genetics, genetically. If you write THERAP, could give you for therapy, therapies, therapeutic. You will not miss it. So also this is a smart way of having more results available to you. But then the wildcard search will work effectively when you have at least 3 alphabet in your series in the word. Okay, so that's also another tip. Also, many publishers have this advanced search techniques as well. So advanced search techniques is, we also have it. I'll also show you in a while. So sometimes, let's say, of course, author is one. You can put the author name if you have it. But rather, when you have the research result ready and you're still not convinced, okay, so you can even give the command to our platform that I want in the title this particular phrase to definitely come. So if you go in the title and then you add the term, so that system will only fetch results where the title definitely contains that particular phrase. I'll show you all as well that. So this, how does it help? It helps again to narrow your search, to give you focused quality search for you. For example, this works well, like for example, you are doing a search maybe on the climate or like, let's say, mountains and environment, and then you really want an India-based study. So why don't you go to advanced search and in the title just write India? So then all of those searches will pick up only where India is in the title of the article, and then you might just have India-based topics or the search results to read. and build your knowledge on. Now, before we move to the platform again, because I promise it will be a tips for smart researcher, this is something again I would reiterate, and I said this earlier in the sessions also. Springer Nature has some very good communities that we are running, and these communities are in different subject areas. You see on the left-hand side, health and clinical research, humanities and social sciences. People join these communities and they talk about especially the latest research and whatever is happening, latest news, etc. So they're all organized by topic. So you can choose to join one community. You can also choose to join any community. All you need to do, go to communities.springernature.com and then raise your request, and you'll be accepted to be added as a member of that community. And you can not only reading, you can also contribute to Springer Nature communities. So please, if you have not done that already, please, this is especially for researchers, for authors, for editors, and the research communities. And no fees and no charges there. Then I would like you also one more thing, sign up for Nature Briefing. Nature Briefing is a very important newsletter which comes like it gives you a brief analysis of all the topics that are published, a concise summary of news analysis from the Nature publications and also from other reputable sources. So Nature Briefing is something that comes, I think, every day on your in your inbox. All you need to do is just go to nature.com/briefing and you can sign up for that. And you see a mail has come to me, Nature Briefing to Alpana Sagmal. This is how it comes. Hello Nature Reader. So it's free. I mean, see, if you now you have subscription, right? Being in ONOS, so if, it will tell you if it is a 1 minute read, it's a 2 minute read. You can just read the snippet of it. If you're interested in that piece of science or knowledge or information, you can click and read the entire article. It's totally up to you. But it gives you a consolidated, nice summary of whatever new is published in Nature and Science and other sources. Then the third part is the source. The third thing which I would like you all is the source. Again, a tip for becoming a smart researcher. Follow this. So the source talks about many things, which this is more related to academic publishing rather than science, but it's more on the publishing side, like integrity, ethical issues, all of these kind of things are DEI, SDGs. These are published in the source. So you can even contribute to source by writing to the source at springernature.com. Maybe Neeraj can again put up this link, the source @springernature.com. So please follow this. So Springer Nature communities, Nature Briefing, the source, very, very important. Again, as I mentioned in the beginning, since you have a lot to read, it's very important to also be well versed and stay up to date with what is happening. And sometimes, honestly, sometimes it can get overwhelming. I'll tell you my story. So we are from Springer Nature globally. Sometimes globally within Springer Nature, we don't know so many projects are happening and we have no idea at times. In fact, you will not believe me, recently when we were in a team meeting, so this concern got raised that we are not well informed about what is happening within the company. So if we as Springer Nature employees can not be well informed only what is happening within the community, within the company, so how do we expect researcher to know everything what's happening in the world? Hence, these kind of resources, the source, the Springer Nature communities, all of this should make your life little at ease. And then this is something which I like to show you online as well, Springer Nature Journal Finder. So many of you struggle to find journals. I can vouch for this because I get a lot of mails. In fact, Neeraj also gets a lot of mails. Okay, this is my research area, which is a journal I should publish. So this is a journal finder that has come up. Our team has developed it, the product team at the back end. Again, I'm saying it's not it's not like written in Bible that this is something that you should just go for. This only gives you a list which should be relevant journals for your area. Please do consult your project guides, do consult your teachers, your professors, or also your peers as well. Maybe you can seek some help from us, from the publisher, and yourself go and read the aims and scope. If you have done the research, if you have come to that level that you're ready to publish, submit your manuscript, so of course, what does your research stand for. So there is, I don't think anything can stop you from connecting your research to the aims and scope of that journal. So please read the aims and scope of the journal. I've seen the journal editor. We work with them day in, day out. They are really fussy about their aims and scope because if they deviate, there are a lot of implications thereby. They lose their indexing, they lose a lot of things. So they have to confine themselves to the aims and scope. It is a mandate. if they want to deviate from their aims and scope, they launch collections, they launch special issues, but they would never deviate from the aims and scope. Hence, when you are trying to submit your manuscript, please do read the aims and scope. This is again a very important tip I would like to give you if you are a budding author. Please map your research with the aims and scope of the journal, and the aims and scope of every journal is written on the home page of that journal. So I'll show you the journal finder in a while. This is how it looks like. This is how it gives the list of journals. And then let's come to the revamped platform and the platform demo. So this is how the platform looks like. Of course, there's no point showing you this platform here, like the snapshot. Let me take you live on the platform and allow me a while I share my screen again. Okay, so you see here link.springer.com. That is, I think Neeraj has already posted on the chat. This is the URL link.springer.com, and that's how it looks like. Okay. All right, Neeraj, can you still see just the Springer Nature link?
Yes, Alpana.
Thank you. All right, so this is how the page looks like. You see here, this is the home page of our journal. If you would remember, the old platform, it always had this knight logo on the top left. But this has changed now. It is called Springer Nature Link, but the URL is still link.springer.com. I don't know what technology people are facing some challenge to change the URL as well. But even if you go type, even if you I think writes link.springernature.com, it still gets routed to this particular website, this particular database. So here, if you go on the homepage, I will like to show you very quickly. This is the journal finder that I was talking about here. Then you have, I will come to it in a while. Then you have published with us. So again, a tip, whenever you are struggling that, okay, I have this manuscript ready and then I want to publish with Springer Nature, you can always go here and learn more about publishing with us. There are 3 tabs in here. If you can see, publish a book, publish an article, publish a conference proceeding. So you can click that one, and then you have all the tutorials, guide, all the contact information, etc. ready. I don't know what has happened to the internet speed at my site. The website is not opening, but I'll show it to you when it gets open. So this is the publish with us. Track your research is whenever you would have submitted a manuscript, you would have got a username, you would have built a username and ID and password through the editorial manager. So you can always type in that and track your research like this. I mean, you can continue with your ORCID ID or continue with your email address, and you can see where my research is. Like if you have 2-3 papers going on with us, you will just see where my paper is lying at the moment. Okay, if I go back again here, so yeah. So then here is the search bar. Search bar is for your keyword search. This is something that you all will use. I know as much as the journal list you download from ONOS site, all you will do is typing a keyword search. And fair enough. This is good because it is humanly not possible for you all to remember 13,000 journals from all publishers, right? Doesn't make sense. So this keyword search is meant for you, is meant for your ease. So please make use of it. But as I mentioned in my strategies that I gave just now, please use the smart strategies. Generate smart keywords, and then use all these tips like the Boolean operators, etc., and then do your searches. If you go down, you can just see here more tabs: discover open access, publish with us, track your research, featured article, track your research and publish with us is just the same. Open access is all about open access. Whatever you want to learn, it's in here. I'm not opening it because I think it's taking a lot of my bandwidth. I'm just closing other tabs as well. Okay, featured articles and journals are something that has been spotlighted by our editorial team. Here you can click by browse by subject. If I click here, you can directly just see it here. Here. So you see all the articles, all the what do you call this, the content, because it's just not articles, it's also book chapters, it's also video segments. So all of it are bifurcated under these subject areas. Maybe if you are from technology and engineering, if you are from statistics, mathematics, health sciences, business, biological science, computer science, then you can click in here and start searching within this subject area. That is possible too. If you go down, this is the featured books on our site. If you talk about, I didn't mention it earlier, but we are the largest book publisher in terms of the number of books that we publish. We have close to 3 lakhs books. I think 2 lakh books are English language books in 24 subject areas. And these 24 subject areas, 14 of them are from science, technology, medicine, and 10 are from humanities and social sciences. So if I just tell you, in one day, we have a team of more than 400 publishing editors who are working with you all, maybe some professors, assistant professor who want to write with us. So these editors are in touch with you always for a book on some certain topics. So on an average, if I talk about, we publish close to 44 books, new books in one day across globe. This is our book program. Now, here, trending research is something which is being talked a lot in the social media. You know what is altmetric? If you are not aware of altmetric, many of you would be, I know, but if you are not, I'll quickly tell you. You can search also about altmetric, ALTMETRICS. So altmetrics actually is a complementary metrics to the legacy metrics, which are for an article. For example, it is downloads, accesses, denials, citations. So these are the legacy metrics which will be there, which have their own predominance. But now the world is also seeing the complementary metrics, which is the alt metrics. What is it? It is how many times your article was referred to in a news article, how many times your article was talked about or maybe is mentioned in the policy document, or is mentioned on X, or on any Facebook, or maybe on citation manager like Mendeley, etc. So the basis of your mentions on social media, news, policy documents, a score is calculated, and it's a very beautiful donut which comes out. And seeing your number, these are the we call it, okay, this research is trending. The alt score is 44, which means it's been talked about in a lot of event areas. Maybe a policy document, could be a social media site, could also be a news channel citing it. So that is called as a trending research. If you're not aware of the alt metrics as of now, I suggest you can always look up for that topic and see if you have published, whether your research, because it's also a way to show that my research is making impact. It's being cited in the policy documents. It's being cited in the news articles like this. Now, before going on to the search term, I would like to talk about this calls for papers. I briefly did touch about collections. Like when I was mentioning that, okay, the journal article, they are very, very fussy, the editors, about not deviating from the aims and scope, right? But but for example, a topic is trending, and the journal talks about engineering, or maybe but then there is an applied angle to it, and the journal would want to cover that as well. So they will launch a special collection. They will not publish it in their legacy journal, but they will launch a special collection. At Springer Nature, we don't call them special issues, we call them collections. The good part about collections is they publish in a little faster time, because since it is a trending topic, so the journal want to cover it fast, and a lot of resources are put on that collection, so that the whatever manuscripts are coming, they get reviewed on time, and that topic, because there's no point of publishing it like the legacy. I know we'll also raise it. The legacy timeline for getting an article published is too high because of the peer review academia process. But in this case, for collections, we expedite the process because we send it to multiple peer reviewers, and if you're not getting time from reply from one, we just send it to the other. But for that we need bandwidth, we need resources, and hence in collections we have special resources allocated to it so that it gets published in time. Now you would wonder, okay, what will I do of this information? How will I come to know whether a collection is available on my topic or not? So this is something I will show you in a while, that now what the team has done is, you can see, okay, which are the collections being launched on my topic, which are the participating journal in this collection, and is the collection currently calling for paper or not? If it is calling for paper, then you might as well plan to choose to submit your manuscript in that collection. So this is the thing. Now let me show you a keyword search, how you can do a keyword search. Now I'll take a very, very basic topic. Let's say you are working on the home automation systems. Okay. So what you will do is you will just write home. And this is a topic that I've taken not related to. So this is something like in our day-to-day life. We all use the cyber systems and the home security systems, right? So this is home automation. I've just done it, and I've just added it like this in the search. You see so many results have come up. Now, I'll show you how to refine your search further. But before that, in the interest of time, let me show you also the content type, all of that, and then we will refine the search using whatever we learned, like the operators and the keywords. Okay, so just home automation. I want to show you what do we have in it. Let me just see if we have. So on the content type, we have chapters, articles, conference papers, research article, review article. Now you must be wondering, okay, there is an article, but there's also a research article and a review article and news article. So particularly the research article, the review article, and the news article collectively form the article. So if you want to search an article, you will have all three of them. But if you choose to select a review article, let's say you want to develop your knowledge on this topic, then you can only choose to select review articles. So then you also have like textbooks, pure books. Even if there are any dedicated journals, you will have a list of journals also. But we don't have dedicated journal on home automation, but there are a lot of articles being published in various IoT journals. Now, publishing model, this refers to the journals. If you select journal, you can also select, okay, which are the ones which are open access. That is doable. Then you have the date published. You can choose to filter, also add a customized year to your date. And then language, English. Then you have the subject areas. Like here, home automation is related to IoT, smart infrastructure, artificial, depending upon your area of subject of and the broad level discipline and the subdisciplines. And then you have also, if you want to work in specific areas, you want to read about, let's say your focus is your SDG. There are 17 SDGs. So your focus is SDG. So you can also refine your searches that you want to read, okay, SDG focused research on particular, maybe poverty or clean energy or clean water. So you can do that as well. And we also have this accessibility now segment. This is recently which is added. And then you click on update result. So this is the left hand side filters. What it does is it just refine your search little further. So you all know how to do it. You're all tech people. All of you are using technology, so it's not a rocket science. Let me show you further how we can. So there's nothing that you can do with. Of course, you are not going to read these 59,000 results. So let's see what you do. First of all, you can what you can do is you can add a search within a search also. So I've done home automation, and then I click on IoT, and then I search again. Now I want just home automation on the like for example the first one has come up for the IoT edge devices like the smart infrastructure, smart devices, maybe a smart AC you have, or so the home automation for IoT devices. Then you know what you can also do is but you are working on machine learning, so you just want, okay, this particular topic, but I want the how machine learning can be used for this. So then it means you want to narrow your search. So here is what you will use, um, machine learning. I'm just using ML here to show you, okay, if that keyword, synonym of machine learning or a related term of machine learning can also be used. So you see here, so I have, the results have come down to 2,538. Now what you can also do is, this is a search using an operator. Now what you can also do is, you can go to advanced search. And then here, as I was mentioning, you can mention, okay, I want definitely to have my search results to have machine learning in the title. You can also choose other things, but here I'm showing you advanced search where you can give a command to the title. And you also have date published, of course, that is there in the main one as well. So you click on search. Now you just have 239. So see, we started from 60,000 articles or published result. We've just come down to 239. So you have here leveraging machine learning IoT. Now this result that has come, if you will see yourself, these are very, very relevant researches basis the topic we had in our mind, right? And you can then also see, okay, I just want to read articles in this, not chapters, not conference papers, but pure original research on this. So you can choose to click on just articles. So you now have 67 results. And then what you can do is you can also, let me just see if it allows me to log in. Okay, I have logged in now. So I just hope it brings me back my searches because I logged in. I wanted to show you this download feature that you have here, but it doesn't. Okay, no worries. I should actually have logged in before that hand because I wanted to show you there is a feature where you can download the first 1,000 search result. So we did this and then we did IoT and then we searched and then we used the AND operator also. I think that's what we did because we wanted the use of machine learning for home automation system, and then we did a search which narrowed our results. And then we gave a command on the advanced search that we will have in the title, we will have machine learning. Okay, so now we have 239 should be the one. Yeah, exactly. And then I'm just clicking on the articles here and I click on update results. So I've refined the searches from 59,000 to just 67 results, which is still doable, right? Now what you can do is you can download the search results also. So after spending good amount of time on searching, you would say, okay, now I really don't have the stamina to read these results, which is fine and understandable. So what you can do is you can click on let me see if it is getting. So you just see you have this article list here. Okay, I don't think you can see. So I want to show this to you. So that's the thing about Zoom. You just need to keep swapping your screen all the time. All right, so this is the one. Or maybe I'm not doing something wrong. I have to always stop sharing and then share. So see here, here this is the article. And you have all these 67 articles here. But the good part is that you have the direct URL. So you would must wondering, okay, what will I do of this list here when I have to again go back? No, you don't have to, because you can just copy paste this direct URL and start reading that article. So that's the good part. And a feature that you all can use. Okay, let me share again. All right, so this is the one way that we can search. Now let's come, I'd also like to show you a journal page quickly again. So I go back, whenever you want to go back to the home page, you can click on Springer Nature link. Now, okay, let's say a very broad topic, I'm taking climate change, because I want to show you a journal homepage also. Climate change, and then I'm not showing you again all these entries. Of course, you can go through them, you can tweak them, you can use discipline, sub-discipline, language, subject, basis your area of expertise, area of academic research that you're doing. You can choose to do this. Why I'm doing this, I just want to show you a, let's say I'll show you an article page. Okay, so let me take this one. So you could have done, I could have picked up an article from the previous one that we did, but I just took another keyword, climate change. So in the previous search that we did on home automation, we could have also picked up an article, and I would have shown you. The look and feel of each article on Springer Nature link is exactly the same. You see here, you go to Springer, this is how the article looks like, and the PDF download is just given in your visibility pane. You don't have to locate this tab anywhere. Click on download PDF, and that's how your article should get downloaded. And oh, I got out downloaded twice. So this is how the article looks like. I hope you all can see it. Let me check. Yeah, so see, this is a 21-page article. You can always keep it in your local machine for reading it later. As I said, in your metros, in your bus, wherever you are, whenever you get the time, you can read it. But let's say if you have a good speed, you can also utilize this good thing that our team has made it here. They also have another section here, sections, references, and figures. So all the figures in the article are also consolidated at one place. So this is also a nice way of, see, this one also has a graphical abstract. See here, many journals are now asking for graphical abstract also. And this, because you have access to so much, so you can always see how they are made, what kind of what kind of abstract graphical wise this journal are publishing, and of course there is help available to make these kind of abstracts. And graphical abstract are of course visibly better, and they give a better picture of your article in less time as compared to the legacy abstract. Now, as I showed you, the download PDF is here. If you want to know more about some metrics of this article, 443 accesses, then one citation, this is the alt metric. 5 alt metric score. Out of this, one is mentioned. Others could be like in Mendeley, etc. You can click on here and explore all metrics. You can then see how the metrics looks like this. So this was the donut I was talking about. This comes for all the articles if your article is being mentioned in some documents. And then here I showed you. So for example, if you have a good speed, then you can also choose to read one topic, like let's say click on discussion, and then okay, you just come directly on the left hand side on discussion. Then you don't need to read the article. And many times I say this to many researchers, that sometimes you don't have the time to read. If you like the abstract, you would like to see, okay, what are the methods they use, or maybe you directly want to go to conclusion. So just to get a hang of the article, because you already have read a similar article, you don't want to spend a full time in reading the entire article, so you can use this particular feature. More information about this article is, yeah, I missed mentioning about the authors. That information is always here. Okay, in this case, it's one author only, but usually we have always some other author. This is a corresponding author written here, and then you can see here the author and ORCID ID. You can also connect them, search them on PubMed, Google Scholar, and then also collaborate if you want. Here, if I go a little down here about this article, um, here you will get a shareable link. If you are an author of any article published on Springer Nature link, I request please do not share your published work just as a PDF. Again, a tip from my side that if you do that, nobody is counting number of times people open your PDF to read it. But if you share this link, to them, to your WhatsApp group or your emails, or your maybe if you're writing a post on LinkedIn, please share this link. Do not, please refrain from sending PDFs. Many WhatsApp group I'm added in, which are researchers, people just send the whole PDF. Please don't do that, because then what is happening is you are losing. Of course, you'll say, okay, I don't care about numbers, but the world does. So here you are missing out on these numbers. So every time a person clicks on that link, this number gets increased. So if you want to, of course, these metrics are helpful, I would say. So this is something you should take care of, that whenever you are sharing your article, because see, only the article publishing is not the end of the story. In fact, it's the beginning, because earlier part was just you. Now it's been open to the whole world, and you would want not the world, I should say here, rather to correct my words, to the relevant community. You would want your article to be seen and to be people to read your research and maybe also come back to you. Also build on your research to develop something else. That's the meaning of science, right? Hence, I would say you should share your work. You should share your work in the conferences, everywhere, to your groups, to your people, to your people who are under you, maybe doing PhDs, etc. But please ask them to use this link. And this link is available for all the articles available on the Springer Nature link. And I'm sure other publishers would also have this free to use shareable link. Something else I mentioned was climate justice. Was keywords like here, climate justice, renewable energy. What are these? These are the keywords which authors must have given, this person must have given to the journals, because the author thought that these words would also enable people to search his or her article. So whenever you are also submitting to the manuscript, your manuscript to the publisher, please see. Sometimes you must feel, oh my, why the publisher is asking for so much? Okay, this is again a step that I have to do. Please spend time. Please spend time on doing that. This is important, because if you give just plain keywords, and your research will get just lost somewhere in the pool of research that is already hosted on multiple publisher platforms. So if you give them nicely curated keywords about your research, something that will help search your get your the published article, get that visibility, that it comes on the top, like you do for your job search, right? You want the recruiters to see your resume on the top. So you have some nice keywords in your resumes. Okay, this is what I'm doing. I'm a fast learner, problem solver. So you also have to put some here keywords, nice keywords. Also, another tip that I would like to give you, and I'm going to that page now, is the journal page. Many of us, many of the researchers, they miss just this important page. You always miss that. You go to the article, you read it, and your job is done. You submit your manuscript independent of that journal. If you're choosing to submit an article in a journal, sorry, not article, a manuscript in a journal, you need to go to the journal homepage. You have to go to. There is no second thought about it, because these days, see, we were just talking, Neeraj and I, we were just talking about BMC, like let's say as a publisher. So they have so much of backlog of the manuscript, and then we get this complaint from the research academia that there's a high timeline. The problem is that there is so much to be done at the desk level, because the journal, the articles, the manuscripts are not matching the aims and scope of the journal. And as I said, they cannot deviate from the aims and scope. Hence, the time that is consumed before the peer review is also too much. is also too much. So hence, it is also the onus of a author to also do the due diligence before submitting the manuscript. So when you submit the manuscript, please go to the homepage here, like read about the journal. Very, very important here. Let's for authors, there's a point. Yeah, for authors here, you see pre-submission checklist, submission guideline, how to publish, everything is listed very, very clearly. So for every journal, it's there. Pre-submission checklist, what all you need to do, submission guidelines, submission check. If, for example, there is a way that there is only one kind of citation this journal would agree to. There is only one kind of figure notation this journal would agree to. These many pages are agreeable. So all these things are written and they're different for each journal. It's like no one size fits all. That's not the case that is being followed here. So you need to do this due diligence at your end by going to the journal homepage. See, when you buy a mobile phone, you do so much of research, right? Recently, we had this Amazon Day 12 to 14. Even my husband was thoroughly looking at all the mobile phones available to just get the best deal, spending so much of time, on this thing, which is important for us, right? But this research is your labor of love. So you need to spend time to see the right home you send your research to, right? So please spend time on finding the right journals. That this step is very important. Read the pre-submission guidelines, see the submission checklist. That is important for every journal. Then most important is the aims and scope. See about the aims and scope, whether they are matching with what your research talks about. Very clearly, it's written. Still, if you have problem, then contact the journal via the IDs mentioned on the contact people here. But then just do not submit. Okay, if the word is matching sustainability and mine is also about sustainability, just don't do that. Do that due diligence at your end. And also, one more tip which I would like to give you, maybe Neeraj can post that on the chat, is if you are worried about, let's say if you want to publish in a fully open access journal, this is for authors, not for researchers, and you're worried that it might be a predatory journal. So there is a website called as thinkchecksummit.org. If you go, and it's a free website. It's if you go onto that website, and if you feel that journal gives tick marks to all the points, all the checklist, then that's a journal for you. And please, Neeraj, maybe you can put that on the chat. The Think Check Summit. That's a journal which tells you about predatory journals. And one more tip I would like to say here, mention here, is that there are questions also coming over. Let's see. If you want to publish your article open access, so please understand that as a publisher, any reputed publisher like Springer Nature, Wiley, Taylor Francis, Elsevier, none of those publisher will ask you the fees before you are accepted by the editorial of that journal. Only once you're accepted, because in our case, the editorial team and the payment team, they do not talk to each other. The process of peer review is exactly the same. So this question also I get many times, that why are you asking for money to get published? So that money is not for and so that money is just only asked after you are accepted. And before acceptance, there is no money that is asked. And you can see here, there is 90% rejection rate for the journals. Nature, I can say. For Springer, I think there's 80% rejection rate. So you can see if 100 papers are coming, only 20 are published. So the fees is only asked for those 20 journals, 20 articles. But the review process, everything, the checking and all is done for all 100. But the fees is not asked for that. So please be aware, if any journal is asking you, okay, you pay me this much, get published in 1 week, that's a red alert for you. All right, so this was about the platform demonstration, Springer Nature link. You have everything open here. Let's do some last search here. You remember I showed you a slide where I had this wireless sensor network for environmental monitoring. So, and I showed you some keyword searches. So I have this query here with me. Maybe we can put that query and see what comes in. So this is the keywords I showed you. Now what I did here is, I have wireless sensor networks, then I used or WSN or IoT sensors or remote sensing. This is all or operator because I want the system to expand the search and use all these variables. But then my point is for environmental monitoring. So then I'm giving an and, that it should also have these phrases, predominantly like climate monitoring or pollution tracking. This is something I'm giving them. So I click on search. And see, you have very, very dedicated search results. So my topic was wireless sensor networks for environmental monitoring, and you see what has come up is very related data, which you should read, which you can read as well. So let's say, and if you are very focused on the sensor network, as I said, you can also do this, go to advanced search and you say, okay, these are 1239 art results out of this. You just pick those results where the title certainly has, let's say, sensor networks, and click on submit. You see, just 45 results, very, very focused results, but this is something that you should be reading and should be relevant to you with respect to your topic. You can see for yourself. All right, last leg, and I think it's already time. So this is the journal finder. So if at all, anytime you get a problem, have a problem, okay, which are the relevant journals for me to read? Now here I'm taking a very, very broad topic because I just want to show you how this works. So let's say I'm taking nanotechnology. Journal finder is lying on the top left on the Springer Nature link. Also can be used as a standalone. You can just copy this link and send it to your friends as well. Nanotechnology, and you click on find journals. I'm not talking about this open access publication cost, etc., because that's not the scope of this training. This is related to open access agreement funding. Okay, so you see here with nanotechnology, all these journals have come up related to nanotechnology. The good part is not only the journal, but the topics they are covering, the publishing model, the impact factor, downloads, how much time does it take for the first decision, all of that information lies here, which might give you ideas for whether you want to submit the manuscript or not. And so you can also download these results. That's also possible with the direct link, like in terms of the search results. All right, so this was all about the Springer Nature Link platform demonstrations and some strategies to become a smart researcher. So let me stop sharing and see if there are any questions that are left. I know it's already 4:30, so before I take up the questions, and I'm hoping that my colleague Neeraj would have answered many of them. Let me just share my screen. Okay, where's my slide? Okay, before I take up the questions, if you want to leave, you are free to leave, but please listen to this important announcement. As I said, that we have a plan of trainings we have been doing since March. You would have seen that there's a repository of all the trainings on our YouTube channel. 19th March, 17th April, 15th May, we all did these sessions. 15th July is today. The next session is on artificial intelligence in research, writing, and publishing. We've tried to secure a very relevant speaker. He's from Europe. He is a director in content innovation and has done these webinars in Europe as well, which have been received very well from that research community. So I'm hoping that he will add a lot of value in our next session, and I'll be having some meetings with him to see exactly how we want to devise that session. Any suggestions you have, please feel free to put in the feedback form. But we would certainly want to see you in our next session on the 25th of August. Uh, Please follow us on these channels, especially the YouTube channels, because there's a dedicated playlist of all these webinars that we are doing. Also, LinkedIn is a platform where we are posting about these webinars. So please follow us, Springer Nature in India. Follow us on LinkedIn as well. There's this QR code also. And I think Neeraj might have already shared all these with you. Okay, link to watch recording will be shared via automated mail Zoom. We will be sharing his certificate of participations as well. And we request you to please let us know about the feedback. All right, thank you so much. I'll just keep this page open and let me take the questions. And I request those of you, I know and I understand the time is limited with you all. I promised that I will try to finish these in time, but you know what happens when we talk. So I'll just take 5-10 more minutes to complete the Q&A. And of course, the recording will be shared with all of you. So if you don't have time, you're free to leave. We can understand that, no problem. But if you stay with us, we'll like it. All right, so there are some questions. Why do Springer not publish in Hindi language? So Dr. Sriniket Mishra, that's a very valid question. Okay, honestly, so English is a language that we prefer to publish as per our global counterparts, they say, because that's a much accepted language in terms of the science that we say. But we did talk about having a Hindi language, maybe not be just language papers, but maybe having a translation facility available. But no commitments on that side now. But we do understand your question, sir. Uh, okay, Dr. Edwin is giving us a suggestion. Please understand. Please send second question. I not updated. I belong to government university. I'm really sorry, Edwin. I didn't understand your question. Maybe could you, Neeraj has shared the email IDs. Could you, if you're not in the call now, so I would request you if you can send us an email about it. Are you talking about the registration question or maybe the question on the portal? So we would like to help you here. Okay, my university is saying that they will provide access only at the university campus. Okay, Rohit, your university, if they're able to provide access only at the campus, so I can understand that it is an in-campus, and this is part of the campus access. So but the campus access also have an option to have remote access. So you need to go back to them and say that you want to enable the remote access as well. This is a service which Infid is giving you. Why not make the most use of it? If you have some problems, please let us know. Connect to us and we'll try to reach out to a librarian and try to, let him see through this, let him or her see through this. Thank you. How does the ONOS initiative benefit Springer Nature employees? Very good question, sir. Okay, that's something which maybe my management can answer. This is an anonymous attendee. I would have loved if you would have given your email address here so that we could have connected with you. But yeah, see, in a way, I cannot talk about the commercials here, but yes, we have to just deal with one entity, that is ONOS, rather than dealing with 7,000 separate institutions in terms of the access, in terms of the, going to them, renewals, etc. So that way does benefit Springer Nature employees. How to get access now? So Rohit, the same question you're asking, how to get access now? If you are a user, if you are not a librarian but a user, your institution should have to get registered in ONOS first, and then you can go to ONOS portal. I request that you just see the recording again, the first 30 minutes of it, and you'll get to know how to do it. Could you please, Ruchi is asking, could you please let me know what you mean by transfer of manuscript and how does it works if it gets rejected from one journal of Springer Nature? So Ruchi, this is not the scope of this particular topic. It's a topic which we cover usually in the research writing and manuscript. But to give you a very brief idea is, before you submit your manuscript in a journal, you have to check mark it, check a tick that you would like to avail the transfer service. And if you do that, then Springer Nature suggests you relevant journals if they find that your research is good but doesn't work for their journal. So that's how they give you some suggestions that can be transferred your research in that journal, but only after your consent they will do it. Once they do it, all the review comments etc would be taken as such, and your research would not be started from scratch. So the review process would start from that point, not from square one. So that's how it works, but they will take your consent. And you can also suggest your own journals, that's also is possible. The authors try to cover each and every guideline Springer journal and they submit as per the suggested, but still the editors of the journal reject the manuscript without any specific comment. So this is an anonymous attendee. I can understand your pain area. So see here, what I can say is really, uh, as much as I've heard from the editor, sir, if you feel that your manuscript is rejected without any specific content, you have every right to write back and ask for particular reasons for getting rejections. They have to provide you reasons for getting rejected. If you have any particular query which is unanswered from Springer Nature, we would love to help you. You can send us a one-on-one mail to either Neeraj or myself. We would like to see at the core of what it happens. We cannot guarantee that your article will be published, but we can certainly still check what is the case there, if it really is your grievance area. My queries in college and we can get user login where please. My queries in the college admin dashboard, we can get user login where please. So in the college admin dashboard, so as I said, for the college admin, first of all, you need to get your college affiliated to ONOS, and then you will get your admin dashboard similar to how I showed you on the ONOS. That where you can see your dashboard. If you have more queries with respect to this, connect to us one-on-one, ma'am. Since this is a particular query, I would request you to please write to us. Why the Springer has less quartile one journals? Now, this is a very subjective question because I will not say that we have less quartile one journals. So a journal's quartile depends upon the subject areas. So we have journals who have one quartile one in one particular subject area, but in some other subject area, the quartile is less. So if I talk about our fully open access portfolio, 67% of our journals lie in the quartile one and quartile two. And Dr. Amit, I'm happy that you are really focusing on quartiles, but I would also like to say you that sometimes that we are only focused so much on quartiles that we just lose the part of the research also. You see, the journals which are not in quartile one and two, those journals are also good. But until unless the researchers will not publish in them, how will they get the score to come under quartile one and two? So it's like a vicious circle. And I can also understand that sometimes the institute policy says quartile one and two. That also is there because we also get a lot of questions like this. But if you see the JCR reports are out now, you can go to JCR and then see that how many of our journals are in quartile one. They're not less. I mean, I think we have a fair amount in quartile one and quartile two journals together. Defense journals, yeah, there should be defense journal, Kalyana ma'am. You can always search on the Springer Link platform and see. Could you please let me tell me what do you mean a transfer this has been done? Okay. How there is different student, please explain. Yeah, Pintu Yadav is asking that we have to do bilingual. I understand the query about, your query about doing this training in the Hindi language. But please understand this is a pan-India webinar that we are doing. We have people from all regions, east, west, north, and south. Hence, we cannot just use Hindi or any other language. I understand Hindi is our national language, but there are challenges that to understand, people have challenges in understanding that language also. So keeping that in mind, we have kept the session in English. But what we have planned is we will be doing in-person session in different pockets, and we will also do regional webinars now, like one webinar dedicated for North, and we can then always ask you the language preference and conduct the session in Hindi as well and in other language. How to use RSS feed. So Murali Krishna is asking how to use RSS feed. So RSS is really simple syndication, sir. All you need to do is that you need to have a feed reader first. Could be any like Feedly, or maybe even your Outlook also have this facility of having the RSS readers. So once you do a search and a query, and then you feel, okay, this search is important for me, on Springer Nature link, what we give is we give you a RSS feed. So you click on that RSS feed and you copy the URL, and all you need to do is just copy that URL in your feed reader. But you need to have a feed reader essentially. So next time when you only your Feedly will give you alerts that, okay, some new research is being published in this search area, which is your query. So that's how RSS works, sir. So it's important. Many researchers actually use, so you can use any, I think Feedly is the one which is commonly used by researchers, but you can search for others feed reader. You need to have a feed reader downloaded in your system, or it's a browser based also. You can have a login and a password to that. Okay. Just, I think we can continue going on just for 5 more minutes, and then Murali Krishna is asking any Springer underwater communication journal. Okay, I need to check that, sort. Maybe we can check and get back. Maybe Neeraj, can you note this point? We can check and get back to Murali, sir.
Yes, we can definitely check back and get back to them. But we will definitely have journals in this topic because it is also one of the SDG topics. So we would certainly have journals. One that
Yeah.
comes to mind is certainly Discover Water.
Okay.
And yes, we do certainly have similar journals, and we can certainly get back to them with the relevant journals.
Okay. So this is answered. So one question is, how can I get all the papers published on a particular topic till now for SLR review? So for literature review, for a systematic literature review, I think, actually nature.com does have where you can actually put up a topic, a subject area, and then that's how you can have all the articles published under that topic. So that's one thing which I can suggest. Rest, maybe I can actually have more research on it and then get back to you. But we don't have your name. Maybe you can put up your name who asked this question. That can help us. Okay. For research community, I should register ONOS. So as I said, Aparna, for as a researcher, you have to register, of course, but first your institute, your librarian has to register the institution. So once your institution is up there, I showed you like right now 4,589 institutions are there on the ONOS. So we still have, I mean, 2,600 more to be registered. I'm not sure if your institution lies in which part of the pie. But once your affiliation is there, you can see, then you have to register yourself. And that's just a one-time process. Okay. Okay, Neeraj, any other question which you feel is really pressing? Because in the interest of time,
Pawan Kumar M is asking the university where they study where they have enrolled in ONOS. Do I need to ask the librarians to access the journals?
come again, I didn't understand the
Uh,
question.
a university which has enrolled in ONOS, do I
Mm-hmm.
need to ask the librarian specifically to access the journals?
No, see, a university was enrolled as to NOS, they have access, right? So even, I mean, if a researcher wants to access the journals, they can just directly use their user ID and do that. I showed on the ONOS portal, the user, if you want to search and browse, it will redirect you to the user login page. Just enter your credentials and search it. You don't really have a librarian as a barrier there. They are facilitators for you. I mean, librarians, I really endorse the librarian community a lot because they really help you ease things for you. So you don't need to go to the librarian for it. They have done their work by registering their institution to the portal. Now, one question is, sir, access to all these journals without any fees for ONOS members? Yes, there is no fees that you have to give. It is all accessible without any charges. Because the agreement is with the Government of India, Minister of Education, not with particular institution or not at all with the independent researcher.
Alpana, there were some questions that showed a bit of confusion around static IP address. So whether librarians have to provide separate access to authors if they have static IP address, and if they do not have static IP address, in that case, do they have
Yeah,
to
so if there is
provide?
a static IP address, then the librarian do not have to provide any access. It's a campus-based access through IP. But yes, the remote access will work in the same way. Remote access for that librarian will have to provide access because it works on the user-based, right? So a librarian will have to put up your username and then upload it. But for colleges, for the one which do not have a static IP, for this is the only method. The remote access is the only method. So, and I think in one go you have 50, that's the limit. You can upload 50 names to the library, and then that person will get their emails from the library, and then they can click on it and make their own passwords, credentials and password. Okay, there's a question from Rajendra Rajput. Are open access journals and paid journals considered the same in terms of publication category? I'm asking this because some institutions and research organizations mention that paid journals are not allowed when evaluating publications. I would like to understand if publishing in an open access journal, which often involves an APC, falls under the paid journal category or if it is treated differently. So, Dr. Rajendra, see, in the publishing terminology, we do not use paid journals as a term. For us, it is open access journal, fully open access or hybrid journal, which gives you an option to publish open access. Well, I can very well understand because last year when we were having an NIT tour in the East India, so there were professors who came to us saying that while as much as they would want to publish in open access, but the policy says that maybe then those articles won't be, considered for promotion, etc. So I mean, internally, I think this is the policy change that needs to come, where the paid journals should not be seen as, the reputed publisher journals should not be seen as predatory journals. So as I gave clarity in the beginning, that the reputed publishers like us, we have, if you say consider our hybrid portfolio also, we have 2,700 journals which give option to publish open access. So they're all quality journals. There are institutions who are signing fully open access agreement, transformative agreements with us. And we only ask you, the journal will ask you payment only when you're accepted. So I think this is some knowledge sharing needs to be done at people who are making the policies in the institutions. And believe me, we have our teams like our editors who are traveling there, who are talking to these people to give awareness and understanding, because we feel a lot of onus lies on the publishers also, because the shifts have come now. When we talk to researchers and the faculty, I see that there is a lot of interest in publishing open access because you've seen how West has benefited from it, the way their articles articles and the visibility of the articles, visibility of the research is through open access. In fact, we did a white paper back in 2022, I guess. It shows very clearly that an open access article and a paid article behind the paywall, there is a 6 times more downloads to an open access article, which is not behind the paywall. So maybe some awareness to be done at the policy level. Whether participation certificate will be issued? Yes, it will be. How to search for relevant journal for publication? Dr. Shiniket, I just covered it. Maybe if I request you to see the recording in the interest of time. My question is, if my articles got selected by the journal and I don't want to publish it to open access, even then do we have to pay? So see, this is an anonymous attendee, but this is a very interesting question. So if you have submitted your manuscript in a journal which allows only fully open access, then of course you already have your mind made up that of course this will be published open access. So you have to pay the APCs. Either you get it funded from somewhere or your institution has an agreement. That is a second story. But if you have submitted your manuscript in a hybrid journal, and then of course you have this is totally dependent on author whether you want to publish open access or not. When your research will be accepted, then you will be asked these options. Would you want to go via the open access route, or would you want to pay via the subscription route? So you can definitely choose there. How to publish in Springer Nature? So why not write to us separately? We'll give you some links, etc., which you can follow, and that can help you to publish in Springer Nature. I also showed you a link there, how to publish. You can go there on our site as well, and it will give you unravel all your mysteries about how to publish. Again, I'm saying to all of you that sometimes when you have like a publisher in your mind already, if you feel the team is good, they're approachable, you would like there are good journals in this for this topic in this publisher. So better to do some research about that publisher, go to their website, see things, because usually there's a lot of material available on the publisher sites already. Certification, yes, certification will be given. Thanks for the nice presentation. Thank you, Maitri. I appreciate your comment. And I appreciate the comments from everybody who have written good about the webinar. Really, it means a lot. And we also want you to come back to our webinars next month also. Okay, my question was about the journal being shown in the webinar. Please guide. So please, I don't understand the question, Saurabh. You're saying about the journals being shown during the webinar. So if you want to see the journal that I showed on the ONOS, the list is populated. But if I'm not understanding your question correctly, please write back to us. Sandeep is asking, are you planning to conduct a webinar on artificial intelligence in law? Okay, so we are definitely doing a session on artificial intelligence in research writing and publishing, and you are more than invited in that session. But let's just get talk offline about how we can tailor it to your needs, or maybe you come in that session and you talk about law. Because see, we are publishers. We can talk from the research publishing angle, not from a particular subject angle. For that, maybe you can connect with our subject editors, especially the book ones, because they are more the subject matter experts. Okay, so Jeet is writing, is there any possibility that these review articles especially, could be accessed in voice mode? It would get easier access. Yeah, we do have an accessibility statement, and there's an accessibility team that is there. And we would certainly want to help in this case, because as you're writing your friend who's blind, we would certainly like to help. Neeraj, can you just note this name, Sudhit Cherva, and we will dig more into and give all the details, because we also have an understated accessibility statement, and our articles should be accessible to everybody. So we'll come back to you, ma'am. Sujit Cherva, right? Neeraj, hope you noted it. Thank you. There's a question about क्या आपके यहाँ साहित्य से संबंधित रिसर्च पेपर हैं? Of course, we have it, sir. हमारे पास साहित्य से संबंधित बहुत रिसर्च पेपर्स हैं. So write the term, but you have to search in English language. But there are a lot of papers available. Okay, there's a question again about RSS feed. I explained to this and already. Maybe you can go back and see the recording. And okay, so Dr. G. Rathina Sabapathy, I'm really sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly. Can Springer Nature provide this kind of webinar exclusively for university scholars and researchers? Yes, sir, we can. I mean, I do not commit it right now, but we can certainly explore the possibility. May I request, sir, you to write a mail to either of us, either Neeraj or myself, and we'll see the possibility of conducting a dedicated session for you. Okay, Prakash is writing, you're not able to copy the link from the webinar chat. Neeraj, is there a problem in copying the chat links that you're sharing?
I don't think so. I mean, there should not be an issue.
And there's another question, another statement by Abhijit asking, can you please reshare the link page? I want to save the links.
Sure.
Okay, so what we can do is, like tomorrow you will get an email about with the link to watch recording. In that email, I'll try to put all these links. It will come from Zoom, so I'll make sure that today itself I put all these links on that Zoom platform so that when you get the mail tomorrow with the link to watch recording, you have all the links as well. Okay, thank you, Madhvi. Thank you, Shaheen. Thank you, Rajkumar, for all these wonderful comments that you have written. Uh, any journal for Arabic? Yeah, there should be certainly journal for Arabic. I request you to search the keyword term using the right keyword strategies that I showed you. You will certainly get enough literature for your read. I think that's more or less solve all the questions. If there anything pressing, maybe you can raise your hands and then we close the session. Okay, thank you, Samuel. That's very nice comment. Samuel is writing, this session is grateful for, I'm grateful to the presenter for their valuable insights and supporting young researchers like us. Thank you. Okay, if I'm just going through all the questions, I think more or less we are covered. And thank you, Neeraj, for answering so many of them already in the chat. Really, that certainly helps. Okay, and so I'm apologizing. I know when I read the feedback comments, I will certainly get the comments that you are extending the time always. As much as I try to do that, just put myself only in 1.5 hours. Somehow it's not getting possible. Maybe I'll just divide my training into 2 parts and then I'll be able to do it. So I'm apologizing in advance that I took another 24 more minutes of your time because I just took 1.5 hours. I said we will do it in 1.5 hours. I can only say that we can strive to become better next time. We are not perfect, we are human beings. But we will definitely try in the next session. So next session, I'm again reiterating, please keep a lookout on our LinkedIn pages, follow us on our YouTube channels. We will post the webinar. We will also send mails to our librarian community. We keep sending them. There's an automated system. And if you're getting repeated emails, again, I apologize in advance because the system doesn't tell us that, okay, whether you have registered or not. Hence, we have to send it again. And there's an apology line also in the beginning that we mentioned. But we feel that information should not be missed because of all the webinars we've done, artificial intelligence is a theme that has come up in the feedbacks that you want more information. Hence, we are able to pull up a speaker for next month. We will only talk about artificial intelligence, the role of AI in writing and publishing research. The ONOS part would be there, but only for 10-15 minutes. So you will not hear me a lot, rather you'll hear the speaker. So thank you so very much. We look forward to the feedbacks and take care of yourself. Have a good rest of your week. And you will hear from us with respect to certificates, recording links, and all the other links that Neeraj sent you today. Thank you all. It was wonderful having you. Thank you. Thank you, Neeraj. Thank you, really.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.